So we're back with another series for this week, and this one is all about TEDify and Spin. And this is actually element 4 of 6 of docu-branding. So as the name implies, TEDify. This actually comes from TEDx style talks. Now, what makes them fascinating? You know, could we tell our stories TEDx style? You know, how could we, what can we do? How can we do it? Well, let's think about what makes them, really fascinating and so powerful. Why do we want to watch them? Well, first, they're all about stories. Somebody's telling a story. Remember, it's stories worth spreading, right? Ideas worth spreading. That's what TED Talks are all about. So in our case, it's stories worth spreading. What is it that you're saying that's worth spreading? So it needs to be fun, exciting, and educational. So if we look at the TEDx style talks, at the end of each talk, you walk away with some kind of knowledge that you can apply, whether for yourself or somebody or in your business. So there's something you can take away and actually apply to your life. Well, that's what TEDifying and Spin is all about. Tell your story in a way that's fascinating. And always, always remember that at the end, you have to give a teaching point. How can people apply this? So in this case, I'm sharing with you the information about how TEDify and Spin works, right? I'm teaching you. I'm telling a story. Why did I choose to do TEDify and Spin? Because I found most of the experts that I was starting to interview at one time, well, they were more into facts as opposed to why they were doing what they were doing. As we know, the why is always what stands out. So I started thinking about, well, how can I pull out the why? And I didn't have to think too hard because TEDx style talks is right there. So what is it that's already working in your industry that you can take and use? I just shared a story with you as to how I got to do TEDify and Spin, TEDx style story. So go watch them and find one that's in your industry so you can figure out how you can actually connect with the audience. And you get a lot of ideas watching other people. Of course we do. Nothing's, everything what we're saying has already been invented. So go and see somebody else who's doing that. Now, the Spin part. Well, every story that we tell, it has many facets to it. Depending on who you're speaking with, you can actually focus on different aspects of that story, a different lesson from that story. You can share the lesson in a different way. To give you an example, if you were speaking with a teenager, you probably would be telling the story a little bit differently than if you were speaking with, let's say, a senior citizen or a corporate executive. It's the same story, but you would be spinning it a little bit differently. You would be telling it a little bit differently, focusing on the things that are most relevant to them. So that's how you do TEDify and Spin. You find a story that you can tell with a lesson in it and make sure other people know how to apply it. And then you take that story and make sure it's relevant for the people that you are connecting with. There you go. Now we've got it. TEDify and Spin. Stay tuned for another great tip that will be coming shortly. Or look above and below this one. There are many of them out there. See you next time.